Well, Marvin, you got that clip ready? It's a great clip, huh? Keep it ready. We'll get to it in a few minutes. All right, thanks. Hello and welcome. I'm ChrisG.Georgas, also known as Steve S.H. Walters of Breaking News 500, also known as Boxing Rock. And this is going to be a little different type of report. It's going to be on AI, artificial intelligence, and how it's destroying us all. But before I get into AI, I want to give you kind of a resume and a little history about myself so you hear it from the horse's mouth, that's me, and not maybe misprinted or miswritten somewhere or maybe done a negative light in AI in the future. I was born in 1959, September 1st, 1959, Los Angeles, California on Sunset Boulevard at Kaiser Hospital. I often kid and say that's the reason I'm in the movie business, because I was born on Sunset. I grew up in Long Beach, and I had a lot of trouble growing up as a kid, a lot of fights, and got kicked out of a few schools. It all started when I was 5 because I had two 7-year-olds that used to wait around from the corner of the crossing walk and beat me up every day. Eventually, I had to fight the two kids and beat them up to stop the bullying. Once I achieved that, fighting kind of became away from me, and I fought my way through school. My dad got me involved with martial arts and Kempo karate at the age of 12 because my dad is an ex-boxer growing up in South Central LA. He didn't have it easy, and he wanted to make sure his kid could take care of himself. I used to tell Dad, "What are you getting me involved with karate? I'm winning my fights now." He said, "I want to make sure you can take care of yourself." And he did a pretty good job in that area, and thank you, Dad, for that. Now let's go back to when I was 7. This is when it was a very powerful year for me because I started a great work ethic, which has achieved me well all through life. I used to cut lawns for the neighbors and charge them a few bucks. I'd wash cars. I would spray paint addresses on the concrete curbs, a black background and white letters or numbers, or a white background and black numbers. It became a way of making some extra money, and if I believe I was making about $1 or $2 per house, I was doing pretty good at 7, making some cash. I even cleaned pools. 15, I was a workhorse. I was working 2-3 nights a week, King Arthur's restaurant as a busboy, training in martial arts a couple nights a week, fighting in tournaments, going to school, training 2.5-3 hours a day. I don't know any other 15-year-olds at that time was doing all the things I was doing. I had a lot of energy back then, and no, I didn't do any drugs. I never got involved with smoking. Now at 18, I achieved my first degree black belt in Ed Parker's Kempo Karate System, the IKKA, International Kempo Karate Association. But at the time I achieved my black belt, I had changed over to another association, the UKKA, Universal Kempo Karate Association, because there was some dividing going on at that time, but it was still Ed Parker's Kempo Karate System. I got involved with construction, and I've been doing that ever since for 47 years. In my 20s and 30s, along with construction, I was bartending full-time for about 10 years in Los Angeles. In my 40s, I got involved with martial arts again and boxing. I ended up going through the IKCA, International Karate Connection Association, through Senior Grandmaster Chuck Sullivan and Grandmaster Vic LaRue, and eventually achieved a 7th degree black belt in the IKCA. I also became a licensed boxing coach with the USA and had a heavyweight boxer I trained for 2 years. And I also became a kickboxing amateur middleweight full contact kickboxing champion in the Golden Lake martial art tournaments. I was pretty well known through the martial arts community at that time, and I hope and I think well respected. And I met a lot of big celebrities in the martial arts, such as Don Dragon Wilson, Chuck Norris, Gene LaBelle, Danny Insanto, and a few others in the course of my martial arts journey. Now this brings me to acting. At 40, I also got involved with acting. And the reason I got involved with acting was I didn't want to be this age still swinging a hammer. And here I am, 66 years of age, still swinging a hammer. In fact, tomorrow I'm on a construction job. Thank God I'm in good shape and I can still do it. So I got involved with acting because I was working for a lot of celebrities on their homes, and I saw all the money they had. I was going to Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Hollywood Hills, Brentwood, Santa Monica. I couldn't even afford their driveway, and I would go back to some apartment or house in the ghetto and then go work on their homes, So I thought I can get in front of a camera. I'm not shy. So I started my acting journey. I worked for about 2 years as extras in a lot of movie sets and met a lot of big stars. Then I started getting lines in independent films and small projects and making a little bit of money and getting out there on camera. And I said, I don't like what I see with Hollywood. There was a lot of, nepotism. There was a lot of egos, a lot of anger. I thought making a movie was supposed to be fun. A lot of wasted money. And I said, I can do better. I'll make my own film. So in 2008, I set out to make Life After Divorce, filmed in Costa Rica and Los Angeles. Now this film cost me about 140 grand, which I didn't have. I borrowed the money with loans and credit cards, and I had some money, and I went broke. It took me about 10 years to pay it all off. But I hired a professional crew, and I paid everybody well, including their lodging, their food, and insurance on the equipment, and the whole 9 yards. I did it the right way, and I went into debt for it. And along that journey, I also got a lot of hatred from the film, especially from women that didn't agree with the story, because it's a documentary and you'll have to check it out for yourself. It's on my YouTube channel, Life After Divorce, and you can see it for free. And as you watch this film and enjoy it, keep in mind I still haven't been paid a penny for this film. Now in 2009, my grandmaster, Chuck Sullivan with the IKCA, had seen my film Life After Divorce, and it motivated him to make a film because he'd done some work in other films, and he's very well known and famous in the martial arts community. And so me and him made a film together called In Honor Of. This was a father and son story, and I play his son, James Cordova, in the film. And that film was filmed in Los Angeles and Chicago. And it's a great story and a great film, and you can see it for free on Tubi. Then in 2015, I decided to make a short film after I'd finally gotten out of debt, and I earned the money with construction to pay cash for all my actors and crew, and I filmed The Billionaire and the Movie Star at the famous El Coyote Mexican Cafe in Hollywood, California, Los Angeles. It's a great short story. I wrote it, produced it, started it, cast it, and I ran the whole show. It's my film, and it's a great story, and I play a real jerk in the film, and I'm sometimes pretty good at those parts. Now, this whole acting journey's been pretty wild, but I really haven't made any money. I made more money as an extra than I have as an actor, and that's the God-honest truth. But I decided to keep going with the acting, and before I left LA and moved to Florida, I was supposed to star in a boxing film called Last Round of Redemption. But I got so tired of the Hollywood nonsense, all the stuff going on in LA, the homeless problem, the traffic, the crime, everything's an effort, everything's everybody's on you for bills or late charges or this or that. You just can't get ahead. And I said, I'm done. After 61 years, I'm leaving. And I left LA and moved to Florida, and I had no regrets. Now, while in Florida, I decided, I got to do something about this acting journey because I'm no longer really in the loop with auditions and the whole acting scene anymore in LA. And I'm here in Florida, which is a little different vibe. There's a good little acting group in Miami, but I'm about 2 hours out of Miami. So I started doing my own YouTube thing, and it's been pretty good. And I've learned a lot, and I've become, I think, somewhat successful with it. If you're watching me now, I've got over 1,400 videos on my YouTube channel. Quite a journey when you think about it, and I really haven't been paid much money. Maybe through this whole journey so far, I've made a couple $1,000s. I got a lot more invested. $140,000 invested in Life After Divorce. About $20,000 cash invested in The Billionaire and the Movie Star. I don't know what I've got invested in my YouTube channel. I'm keeping track, but when I finally tally it up, I'll give you an update on that. Quite a real journey with acting. I also acted in a short film called A Night at the Movies, which you can see on my channel and on YouTube. And this film has won a lot of awards and is a great story, and I play the part of Mr. Martinez. Now that we got through all that, I'm going to continue with my YouTube. I'm going to continue with my stories. I'm going to continue to entertain you. I just kind of wanted to give you a resume. Now we're going to get on to AI, and I got Marvin ready with a clip, and I know you're ready. It's a very good clip. It's a very quick clip, only about 19 or 20 seconds, but we're going to touch on that after you view it. Are you ready? Of course you are. Marvin, are you ready? Of course he is. All right, Marvin, roll the clip.
Your chicken's looking nice, pal.
Woo! Yo, he stole my chicken!
Got a crispy treasure, can't slow me down. Hot and golden, I'm out at this town. Move, move, Friday victory.
Well, get back here.
The run, spin, slide, I'm gliding out the door. Fried love in my arms, can't give it up no more. Hey, easy. I'm just delivering packages, man.
You have the right to remain silent.
Well, what do you think about that clip? Michael Jackson stole the chicken. Come on, Michael, you can do better than that. Of course you're going to arrest him because, he's a chicken thief. Now, this, in my opinion, is wrong. It's tasteless and it's wrong. You know, Michael Jackson passed away in 2009. We're now in 2026. He passed away over 16 years ago, and this is what we're doing. You know, if you want to see Michael Jackson, you can see plenty of him on his tours and in performances and listen to his music. There's plenty of ways to hear, listen, see Michael Jackson. Why are we doing this and putting him in a negative light? Now, it was entertaining. Maybe it was funny, but this shouldn't be done at all. There will be people that will watch that and believe he's alive. There will be grown adults that will watch that and say, Michael Jackson is a chicken thief. He's a chicken thief. People believe what they see on that TV. They believe what they see on YouTube. It's gotten so good with this AI, you have to decide what's true and what's not true, what's real and what's not real. I think this is done wrongly, tasteless, and it should be banned. In fact, AI should be outlawed, in my opinion. Now let's take animals, for example. I saw a clip of this guy hugging a lion. And the way they presented it was, well, you know, this guy has raised the lion since it was a cub and it's been away many years. And now it's a full-grown lion and still remembers him. And here comes the lion and, oh, they're going to have a reunion. And he gives this lion a big hug. Oh, it's very touching. It'll bring a tear to your eye. You don't go hug lions, folks. These are wild animals. People will believe that lions are lovable. People will go hug lions. Bad things will happen. People will get injured and maybe even die if you start believing a lot of this stuff you see on AI. What about news? What are we doing with the news? Already we got a term of fake news. There should never be fake news. Does news media lie? Of course they do. If you don't believe they lie or turn the narrative the way they want it, then, I don't know, you're living in ancient times or something because, they have their own agenda. And already you have to decide what's real and what's not real. And now with this AI, you really have to look at it and say, was that AI? No, I think that was real. I mean, you're going to have to make that decision. They're trying to confuse us, and they're doing a good job. Again, I say AI should be banned. You'll never see me use AI in any of my videos. Now, I did use that clip just to make a point and to show that to you. Now, what about celebrities? You just saw what they did with Michael Jackson, how they presented him. They're doing it with Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, and others. They shouldn't be doing any of this stuff. And it's not always done in a positive light. And what about movies? You know, back in 1968, they did a great film called Bullet with Steve McQueen. Great car chase scenes in San Francisco and all this stuff. And in 1977, they did a great movie called Smokey and the Bandit with Burt Reynolds. Again, great car chasing scenes. Back then, when they made a movie and they did car chasing scenes and things, they had to put a lot of thought to it, a lot of precision. They had to hire stunt drivers, a safety crew, a regular crew, movie crew, catering, extras, all these different things, rope off locations, do all this stuff and try to make the film work and present it to the audience in a great way. And it's all done by the crew and the actors and the stunt performers and what have you, but it's all done and it's real. Now they can do it with a computer and AI, and they'll put the spin on it where, well, look at all the money that we saved. Or nobody's going to get hurt because it was done by AI. But they'll do things that will be unbelievable, and people will believe they can do it. People will think, well, I saw it in a movie. It was AI. This is where it's very dangerous, this type of things. We got to get away from all this AI. How are we going to stop it? I don't know. Are we going to stop it? Probably not. Is it going to get worse? Yeah, it's going to get a lot worse. And that's the reason I made this video. You know, I actually spent about 6 months deciding if I was going to do this video or not. And I went over it, over it, and over it again and decided how am I going to present this. So I think I did it in a pretty good way, in a pretty good light. You got to be really careful with this AI that's out there. What about robots? I've seen robots that can serve people now. I don't want to go to a restaurant and be served by a robot. Do I tip the robot? I want a lady waitress or a guy waiter. I want a conversation with the real person. And if everything's good, I'll leave you a nice tip. That's the way it should be, and that's the way it ought to be. We're going to be losing jobs. People are going to be out of work. People are going to be struggling, all because of AI. I think we got enough problems as it is. You won't see me using AI on my channels. People on my channels will be friends or myself or people I've talked to before putting them on camera. Maybe some actors I paid them for their times. I'll continue to do it the old school way and the right way. People that want to go on camera and want to be a part of my films, you're more than welcome. And if you don't, I'm not going to put you on camera. You have to show people that kind of respect, and I do that on each and every video I make. I'm old school in my thinking, and I think it's a better way of thinking and a better way of doing this process. I hope you've enjoyed this look back at AI and the Michael Jackson video and some of my history. I hope you continue to be happy, healthy, and take care of yourself. I want to thank you for watching, and have a great day.